Става просто тук днес бързо да не ги чакаме предния път. Не, защото предния път изсупиха се, после ги нямаше известно време и си виж и чакаш, защото така примерно предпочитаме да се разговора раз на друга, раз да се разберем бързо колко само за да промениш намерят пака и тук ни дадоха една книга да четем хармоника и не хармоника. Те си транспортират и така едно друго. Свалят ги така не са настойките, свалят ги така по-напред. И само я фащат вече така. То става кище. А посред само ги навързват. Това е морска болест. Има динамика. Това ще стъпи тук и ще прехвърля отгоре. Не може. Защото е нека. Това не е много телефон. Чакай се, добре. Много съм добре. Кой си роден с късмет и кладеш и се насерят? Не, знаеш, ние много стегнахме. Стегнахме много, аз стегнах. Това стегнахме да ремонтирам. Не, аз сега пробвам. Аз вече не го правя, сега съм. Ръчно, защото първо не забиваше, забелязах това. Явно има лични карти, има лични карти, ще препърти към ДВ. И чакай, добре и първо за има лични карти. Хайде, идват и четири.
Николов, няколко думи само да ни отделите за по-голяма конкретика, в крайна сметка какво точно ще обсъждате и какви са всъщност пред основните ви предизвикателства на тази среща.
Благодаря ви първо за интереса. Всъщност днес е първото заседание на министрите, отговарящи за търговията на Европейския съюз. Това ни дава възможност да обсъдим всички основни приоритети, свързани с търговската политика. Снощи на официалната вечеря имахме възможност да изслушаме генералния директор на Световната търговска организация, както и председателя на Комисията по международна търговия на Европейския парламент. Те изразиха своите виждания относно Световната търговска организация и развитието й след 11-та министерска конференция. Очаквам днес всички държави членки да се обединят върху това, че Европейския съюз трябва да запази водещата си роля в Световната търговска организация, основана на ясни правила. По-късно ще изслушаме абсолютно всичко актуално по уверение на комисара Малстрьом, включително от вчера, по воденето на търговските преговори с трети страни. И разбира се, веднага след това, след като изслушаме мненията, актуалната информация, ще има брифинг, на който ще може да ви предоставим актуална информация. Сигурен съм на вашите актуални въпроси.
Имате ли някакви основни притеснения или пък по-скоро въпроси, които ще поставите на тази среща? Казахте перспективи и предизвикателства.
Срещата е неформална. Към момента трябва да чуваме актуалното състояние, най-вече по отношение на Световната търговска организация и докъде върват преговорите, в това число по Меркосур и за Мексико, както и с други страни, и ще ви уведомиме. Нямаме притеснения.
Относно сделката с ЧЕЗ и отзвука в Европейския съюз?
Това към момента няма отношение по никакъв начин с този съвет. Благодаря ви, успешен ден, до скоро.
Today is the first meeting of the Trade Minister of the European Union, which gives us a good opportunity to discuss some of the most important trade policies. The official dinner yesterday.
Благодаря ви, вие най-добре ще кажете.
At the upcoming plenary session, I expect everyone to unite around the idea that the European Union should play a leading role in the World Trade Organization by upholding open,
Добре беше. Хубав контакт направих там още от предния път и сега потвърдих за много човек.
Gente que puede ser dos que precisa. Hay que quitar el abrigo antes de entrar.
Morning.
Thank you.
Yes, great person.
You have to take off your clothes when we get in.
Take off coat when we get in.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Emil, good morning to you. Just checking I don't slip up. You're doing a great job. Right. Okay, see you in a bit. Yeah. Thank you, thanks. Good morning, morning.
You have to take off your clothes here, and you're the age of take it.
началото до срещата.
Да. Ну да им покажеш вечерата, какво как е, да къде за къде сядат. На къде искате да? Не, къде да дам просто да имам. Имаме два варианта.
Keeper.
I'll just leave my bag here. Thank you. I need to take my bag.
Не ще ги кажем, да. За Франция.
После имаш отбрана.
Okay.
Хърватия. Дания.
Сега идват 3 коли поред, знаете. Morning. Продължавате.
Министъра, който беше с посланик в Атлантика.
Just be careful, it's a bit slippery.
Yeah.
Morning. Be careful, it's a bit slippery. Morning. How are you? Be careful, it's a bit slippery. Can you take your glasses?
Good morning.
Morning. Let me help you. You have to take it off.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Under US protectionist measures, what could be the European reaction?
On the Section 232, well, we are still waiting, of course, if President Trump will take any measures. He has until April to do that, so we are discussing different options. Of course, if he hits hard, we will have to take countermeasures, but we need to wait for that, and we will discuss today what kind of preparedness we have.
And on Mexico, are the negotiations advanced enough so that you can seal an agreement in early March? Sorry.
Early March, that's this weekend. I can't give you a date, but we had a very productive round of negotiation last week, and I spoke with the minister. There are some remaining stumbling block, as always in the end, concerning cars and car parts. I think we can solve them, so we are looking at different dates when we can meet again. So yes, we want to solve this before during this first part of the year, but I don't have a date yet. I think the Mexicans right this week are busy with NAFTA negotiations as well. So when that is over, we will talk again.
And on Section 232, one of the options looked like only a quota of 100% for the EU with a higher tariff for non-EU countries. Would that be considered, or in your opinion, is that also considered something where the EU would probably retaliate, or is that something where the EU would...
Well, we'll have to look at that. There are different options, as you say. That option is the least bad option, but it's still it could still have consequences. So we are analyzing all this, and we will see what measures we will take. That could be everything from going to WTO, possibly with some other friends and allies who will also be affected, or other retaliation. This is what I want to discuss with ministers today. That is one of the options, but we will have to see. And again, we don't know what President Trump will do and when he will do it.
Okay. And one Brexit question, what do you think of Jeremy Corbyn's proposal to have a customs union?
Well, we are waiting to have a proposal from the government, of course, and from that we can start negotiating. So I can't comment on individual domestic debate there. The Commission is ready, and we hope that we can start these negotiations as soon as possible.
And on Mercosur, are you ready to accept maybe a less ambitious deal, but to avoid, in the sake of avoiding another long-lasting impasse in negotiations?
Well, I think Mercosur will not be exactly at the same level as Canada, for instance, because there are 4 different countries and so on. But we have high ambitions, and so do they. My team is there this week to negotiate with them. We're making good progress. There are still some elements left to solve, but I'm confident we can do this.
What is the most difficult one?
Well, as always, agriculture, but also their car and car parts are difficult. Yeah.
Will you needed some political input soon to solve the impasse on cars?
There are always political inputs. We are in very regular contact on a ministerial level. Thank you.
Току-що разучих. Има нямаше как да стане. Ето.
Good morning, Mr. Hoffman. What are you...
report, but we should be prepared and must be clear if something is going to happen, we should have a reaction and a very clear reaction.
Would Europe also need safeguard measures on top of the reaction to the US?
Absolutely, we have to talk about safeguard measures as well, and we are going to discuss. We had a discussion this morning together with Italy, France, and Spain and Germany, and we totally agree on these issues, and there will be a preparation how we are going to react if something is going to happen. But, as I said, it's not decided yet what the Americans are going to do.
And you expect to find an agreement today to be prepared for the different options?
Yes, I think so. I think so. This will be one of the core debates we are going to have today.
Do you expect the Commission to provide you with concrete proposals how to react today? Or?
No, we shouldn't do so. So this should be prepared, and in case we should be able to react. That's the main question. But there are also other questions today on the agenda. I'll give you one idea. We're talking about Mercosur.
Yes.
And as I said, member states will give a clear signal to the Commission that we want Mercosur to be finalized in March. We are very close. After 19 years of negotiations, we are very, very close, and there should be, let's say, a common understanding how we can solve the left problems.
What are the sticking points?
It's about agriculture, and it's about the car package. How many rules of origins want the Brazilians for the car sector? That's one point. And then, of course, we have the big issue of investment screening. That's very, very important because more and more direct investments coming outside from the European Union. And we hope to find a common understanding that we are going to finalize this proposal, this legislative proposal, latest in 2018, because what we can see, there are strategic investors coming to Europe, and we should talk about what kind of measures and instruments can we take to have a deeper investment screening and can take decision if we want to allow or not allow these kind of investments.
And on Mercosur, is France and Ireland on board among those countries which are ready for an agreement with the bloc?
We had a discussion this morning. There's also great interest on the side of France to come to a solution, but there are still some details that have to be discussed in the agriculture sector on geographical indications and on the car package. But I think we were never so close in the 19 years, and if we are not going to take decisions now, then it will take another couple of years to start again with the negotiation and to finalize the negotiations.
Has there been some progress on cars this week?
I had I had a phone call with the Brazilian minister, and he gave me the impression that they are going to think to improve their proposal. So I hope this is going to happen.
Also on the phase-out period for the cars?
It's about rules of origin and, of course, and the phase-out period. They indicated there might be some flexibility, so we have to wait. Because now I think the most important time is coming, because we all know there are elections in Brazil this year, and maybe the window of opportunity is going to close in March this year.
And Mexico?
Mexico, we are also on a good track, but there are also a couple of questions in the car sector, and that is linked very close to the NAFTA negotiations. So, but I think we are on a good way, and also Mexico can be finalized in a couple of weeks.
And last question on splitting trade deals. There was a proposal from the Commission, a proposed Council conclusion for later, I suppose in May. What's Germany's position here? Should this be systematically done or on a case-by-case basis?
I think it must be done on a case-by-case basis. We have a couple of agreements that include also the investment protection. Then it's clear it's not only EU only. Then you have to have also support of the member states. And I think it's very, very important to show also the national parliaments that we stick to this. But there are others, as Japan, where we don't have investment protection inside, so it's EU only. So we should be pragmatic, because there can't be a rule. If we are going to would have a negotiation with China on a trade deal, there must be investment protection in there. So there can't be an iron rule how to deal with this, so it must be done case by case. All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Oh, thank you. So.
Bon, je crois qu'on doit de toute façon d'abord réfléchir à ce que nous voulons faire pour ouvrir notre marché.
Et donc on va essayer de relancer les débats au sein de l'OMC à ce sujet, mais réfléchir aussi ensemble à ce que sont les mesures anti-dumping. Donc s'il y a de vrais problèmes de dumping, notamment en matière sociale, il faut pouvoir prendre des mesures. Nous en avons pris, notamment dans le secteur de l'acier. On essaie de voir comment travailler correctement avec la Chine sur un pied d'égalité. Maintenant, vis-à-vis des mesures américaines, on veut faire comprendre aussi qu'un certain nombre de secteurs ne doivent manifestement pas être concernés. Donc le débat va être assez solide avec nos collègues américains pour faire en sorte qu'on ne vienne pas pénaliser des secteurs sans raison. Il ne faut pas que ce soit simplement du pur protectionnisme sans aucune volonté de s'attaquer à du dumping. Donc il faut bien faire la différence entre les deux. C'est d'ailleurs comme cela que l'on souhaite relancer la démarche au sein de l'OMC qui est bloquée pour l'instant. Et si on n'arrive pas à avancer au sein de l'OMC, on va devoir continuer à avancer sur des accords bilatéraux entre régions du monde. C'est un des débats importants aujourd'hui sur le Mercosur, où nous continuons à avoir un certain nombre de préoccupations pour le secteur agricole. Il est évident qu'on doit être très attentif à protéger les capacités de ce secteur, notamment en termes de qualité. Donc de nouveau, c'est de faire la distinction entre des mesures de pure protection et puis la volonté de préserver un niveau de qualité pour nos consommateurs également. Donc dans le secteur de la viande bovine notamment, on va être très, très attentif aux mesures qui vont être prises pour préserver ce niveau de qualité de la production qui existe dans plusieurs pays européens.
And on the US, do you have any concrete measure in mind that you could use as Europe to retaliate?
First
Section for steel.
Yeah, but first of all, we need to discuss with our American colleagues, and we need to prove that there's no reason to put into place such a lot of measures, because there's no dumping, there's no real problem with the European industry, and certainly not in Belgium. If I mean about the steel industry, we don't have any reason to see some measures coming from the US. If it's impossible, we'll try to see if it's possible to take some measures together, because we need to stay with a certain level of unity inside the European Union. The first phase is the negotiations, and we'll see if it's possible to convince our US colleagues. Not easy. We have seen that also in the WTO. We don't have the same meaning on different issues. And I want to repeat also that today we'll discuss also some regional agreements, like the Mercosur, and there we have a real concern about the agricultural sector. We want to protect the quality of the sector, so not to take just a protectionist measure, but just to explain that we have a high level of quality in some countries. And it's very important to see if it's possible to have a correct evolution on that in the discussions with our colleagues from the Mercosur.
Are you expecting an agreement in March on Mercosur?
If it's possible to go to a correct agreement, why not? But we have discussions about the car industry. It's not the end of the way. And on the other hand, I repeat, we have some concern about the agricultural sector, and first of all about the beef. And I'm sure that we need to explain that we have a high level of quality, and we want to maintain that for the consumers in Europe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should be written gymnastics.
There's also two up front. Two up there, two up here. Maybe you.
see the impact, all right, for the Irish, the East West. You come from I 5 hours later. In Malta, it's freezing.
Wahrscheinlich das ganze Gebäude schon 10-mal abgelaufen.
Actually, yeah, I'd love to get. Oh, actually, I think I'm in Dublin next month. So I can't Friday. No, actually. I think so. Might be Friday the 8th. It's quite soon. Is there a price? Must be a Thursday, Friday.
Yes, Thursday, Friday next week. Thursday, Friday next week.
Is it next week?
Yeah, so,
Okay. Well, let's. Would love to. Why don't I read the study? You can get that. And then I can be better. Okay. All right. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, I haven't met her sister, yes.
Good morning, everybody. If you would like to take your seats, we'll begin in 2 or 3 minutes.
Уважаеми колеги, искам най-сърдечно да